Welcome everyone to our Youth Transition Services. My name is Joanne Pearson and I am the Advocacy Outreach Coordinator here at CIL. I am tech hosting this webinar and our speaker today is Danny Broxson, and he is our Youth Transition Coordinator and he wears many hats here at CIL. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about CIL and what we do here, and then Danny's going to take over. But here at CIL, we promote, educate, facilitate, and assist and advocate with and on behalf of people with disabilities in partnership with their communities to achieve their goals for independence. We serve the 4 counties of Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton. We have 5 core services plus additional activities and programs. So our 5 core services are individual and systems advocacy, information and referral, independent living skills training, peer counseling and mentoring, and transitional services. Some of the other programs and activities that we do offer at CIL, our assistive technology program is through FAST. Equipment loans at no charge. We do have a equipment loan closet that has durable medical equipment and a whole plethora of other things. Social and recreational activities. We do have an amplified telephone system program that is through FTRI. So those phones are for those that have that are hard of hearing. We also have support groups, community education, and training. We are regional consultants for all 5 titles of the ADA. If you have questions, you can give us a call and we can do our best to answer those for you. And we're located at 3600 North Pace Boulevard in Pensacola, Florida. Currently, you can call for an appointment at 850-595-5566. Our general email is info@cilnwf.org, and our website is www.cilnwf.org. And Danny, I am going to turn things over to you, and you can have a show.
Well, I'd just like to take a moment and thank everybody for coming and spending part of your day with me and allowing me the opportunity to share some information with you, and hopefully you can find this information useful and helpful for yourselves or for somebody that you know who might benefit from transition services from CIL of Northwest Florida. So I want to start out very basically, what is youth transition? So the transition program is of course designed to teach independent living skills, including vocational skills, to students receiving special education services ages 14 to 26. And the goal of the transition program is to help students become as independent as possible, including securing competitive, integrated employment. Now, it should be noted that while we do provide youth transition services, and that is going to be the bulk of what we're going to talk about today, transition services do not necessarily have to be all about finding employment. Transition services may include skills training that's not tied to employment at all. It might be learning how to budget your money, learning how to perform a particular task that you would have to do if you lived on your own, like managing your time or learning how to do household chores or cooking skills and those kind of things. Might be learning how to use a piece of assistive technology or some sort of technology to help you live more independent and more efficiently. So next slide. Who is eligible for our services ages 14 to 26 with a disability? And I know that age range seems kind of broad, but I'm sure the thinking here is that if we can start them learning their skills and teaching them the things they need to know at a very early age, then as they go through the education process and start formulating goals, then we can help them with that. So it is quite an age range, 14 to 26, person with a disability. And of course, you know that CIL, Northwest Florida, we are cross disability, so we don't focus on one type of disability or anything over another. If you come in and identify as somebody with a disability, we're going to do our best to provide service for you. And if we don't have the service, we can connect you with somebody in the community that does. Who else is eligible? Those who want to gain or maintain their independence. And independence is a broad, could mean many things. It's very broad. So what may be independence for you may not be independent for somebody else. But if your desire is to live independently on your own or to the best of your ability, we can map out a plan and a goal for you. We can map out steps, what it's going to take to achieve your goal. Your goal is your goal. We're here to help and facilitate and guide you through that process, but we want to make sure that you know that you are in control of your goal and your ultimate independence. Who else is eligible? Those who want to seek the post-secondary education pathway employment options. We'll talk more about those different pathways and the employment options as we move forward into the rest of our presentation. So just bear with me and follow along. Next slide.
We have a question before we move on. Does the student need an IEP to participate in the youth transition program?
No, they do not. I should say that there are different pathways for referral. When we talk about eligibility, if somebody needs a particular skill and they're not sure what to do or how to do it, they want to explore their goals and their options, they can call CIL and talk to one of us. We can sit down together and come up with a solution and a goal. There's an intake process. We can guide you through that. Another pathway for pre-employment training and different things might be a grant through Escambia County. There's a grant from Escambia County that we recently obtained to help people get the skills to make them ready for employment. So we can talk about the pre-employment training. The other option that somebody has is if they are working with vocational rehab for obviously finding employment. Sometimes we work with VR to make sure that those participants or clients of VR can come to us and get the skills ready to help them to become employed, the pre-employment training. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward in the presentation. But our program goals are to provide education and training to gain employment, to build relationships for an independent future. And when we're talking about building relationships, it might be building relationships with businesses or other organizations or companies that maybe want volunteers that could help with employment. Companies that will allow people with disabilities to come and shadow their experiences. And if they're interested in a particular field or something, but they're not sure what it entails, we can line up work experiences or shadow experiences and building those relationships. And ultimately, we want to increase self-confidence and advocacy skills. we want to help people with disabilities realize that they have not only the desire to want to go to work, but they also possess certain skills and might possess certain assets and can be an asset to a company. So they have to explore those options so they can build their self-confidence, so they can go out and find the job that they want. They can do the work that they want to do. They can find what they're passionate about and find something that they're good at, that they can go and contribute to society and to give back. We also want to teach them advocacy skills. How do I advocate for myself? What are my rights as a person with a disability based on my disability? So we want to teach them how to talk to people, how to advocate for themselves, know what their rights are, so that they know that they have worth and value in society. Not just as an employee or somebody seeking employment, but somebody as a contributing member of society who also happens to have a disability. Next slide. So our program components, we talked a little bit briefly about this, are pre-employment or work readiness. Now, pre-employment could be many things. When you're talking about getting ready for employment, you've got to have some skills, not only to get the job, to explore the job, to search for the job, but okay, what do I do when I get the job? Or what do I do? How do I go about interviewing? How do I go about doing certain things? How do I make sure that I'm ready to go to work? When that opportunity comes and I find what I'm passionate about, find out what I'm good at, and I've done all my research, and I've explored my options, I've talked to people, how do I go about knowing all the things that I need to know on day one before I go into that employment? Now, obviously, you're not going to know everything when you go in on day one, but you'll have those pre-employment skills and you're ready to go to work. You're ready to learn, you're ready to grow, and we want to be a part of that. We want to be able to train you. We talk about everything from conflict resolution to personal hygiene. Now, you say, well, personal hygiene, I don't have an issue with that. Well, we may not have to discuss that or spend a lot of time on that, but we want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to be the best employee and the best person that you can be in the job. Because I tell people, when you're an employee, you represent that company. You're an extension of that company. So you want to put forth your best effort, your best self, your best skills, and we can be here to be part of that. Self-advocacy training, we talked a little bit about this, knowing what your rights are, how to advocate for yourself, how to ask for the things that you need as a person with a disability, also seeking employment, or also seeking those skills to become employed and become independent. Finding out, hey, I need certain things. I can do this, but I'm going to need certain things. I need to know how to talk to people about my disability, what my needs are, what my wants are as an employee or as a person in society. Peer mentoring and peer counseling really kind of sets us apart also, because we are an organization that is run by people with disabilities. We are controlled by people with disabilities. 51% of our staff has to have a disability to work here. 51% of our board of directors have to have a disability to be part of our board. So we're not just people saying, here, go here, do this. This will work for you. We've been there, done that, and we can kind of mentor people and provide peer counseling for people who we know what their challenges are. We know what their experiences have been. And we can provide them with some real mentoring because obviously we've been there. Now, just to make sure that you understand, it's not clinical counseling. We're not prescribing medicine. We're not psychologists or psychiatrists, but we're people with disabilities, and we want to help people know that we can mentor them. We can be a sounding board. We can be a listening ear, and we can even tell them what we think. We can tell them, this is my experience. This is my disability. This is my experience, and everybody's different. So it's a wonderful challenge that we have, but a wonderful opportunity that we get to talk to people on a daily basis with disabilities, and we get to help them face their challenges and be a part of their story and a part of their success. So next slide. Okay, so I'm going to go over a few of these, but I'm not going to go over all of them, but these are the anticipated outcomes. So I'm going to leave this up for just a little bit, and you can read on the slide what some of these goals, the outcomes could be. I'm just going to touch on a few. The outcomes are that at the end of this pre-employment training or skills training that you're going to receive, you're going to know how to interview. You're going to be able to go into an interview and answer questions, present yourself as if you're ready to go to work. You're ready to be an asset to that company. You're going to have a resume that you can send to somebody, and they're going to look at that and say, wow, this guy's got it together, or look at these skills this person has. So that's one part of it. We're also going to talk about workplace behavior, find out what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, depending on what type of work you're going to do. We're going to talk about decision making. You know, we talk about all kinds of different aspects of things on the job. Conflict resolution. How do I deal with my disability? What if I have an issue with my boss or with another employee? And how does that play with my disability? We talk about those things. We talk about accommodation requests. You might have every skill that you need to perform the essential functions of the job, but you might need an accommodation. You might have an issue that you would need to go and communicate that with your supervisor or your boss. We're going to talk about those things and have a plan of action so that not only are you presenting yourself as a potential employee, but I'm an asset. And even if I have a disability, I can still be an asset to this company. I can still perform the essential functions of the job. I can be the best employee that this company has ever seen. That's our goal, is to make you employment ready and make you the best employee that you can be, or long-term employment. You know, we're not talking about, oh, we're just going to go work for 6 weeks or whatever, but we're talking about long-term employment or long-term independence and success. So if you just want to take a second and read some of those outcomes, you might have some that are more important to you, or something that you say, well, I might want to work on that, or I know somebody who could benefit from whatever the outcome is. So if you do know somebody, by all means, you know, have them call us. We can talk about it. We can set it up. We can get them going down that path. That's great. Next slide. This is a sample schedule of the type of training that one might receive. Now, this is set up for a classroom of students. So if we have somebody that's interested, they can fill out an interest form. We would contact them, and once we had enough students, we would have a class. So if, for example, if we meet 3 days a week, 1 hour a day, session one, why are we here? Okay, it's important to know those things and to, you know, it might be simple and basic and say, well, I know why I'm here, I need a job. But it's important to ask those questions because you want people to start thinking about, why am I here? Why am I seeking employment? What do I want to do? What am I good at? What am I not good at? What are the issues that I have? We want to get them to start exploring things, for themselves so that they can make informed decisions about their future and about their employment. Now, as you look at these sessions, these things can be modified. We might, for example, like I said, not be able or not have to talk about anger management, or we may not have to talk about personal hygiene on the job. That may not be an issue for a particular group. And we can modify those plans. We can modify and say, okay, we're gonna strictly work on resume writing, or we're strictly going to work on just the basics of what you need to know. We can tailor this for one student or a room full of students. But I just wanted to give you an idea, a basic idea or a schedule of what kind of things you would learn. And in that, we would also bring in people from the community that have skills and work in those environments that we hear people talking about. Okay, we have, an opportunity as people with disabilities to talk about things and to bring things to light and to share things. But I don't work in the tech industry, so for me to stand up in front of a group of students or somebody and say, this is where you should go, this is what you should do, that doesn't make sense. But if I can bring somebody in who works in that environment, who knows the ins and outs of that industry, and can help you benefit and make decisions about, hey, this is the career for me, this is interesting, I want to learn more about that, and that's what we want to do. If I have certain skills, I'm going to share those with you. But if I know somebody who has particular skills that I feel like somebody could benefit from and has an expertise, I want to bring those people in and let them share their expertise with them as well, because they have a lot to offer. And when they see people that have done it, that have been successful, then it's all great. And they can take that and build that network of people that they need, or that they're going to need, to get the employment that they need and the skills they need to be independent. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is our team. This is not all of our team. This is not everybody at CIL, but this is our youth transition team. I've been designated as the lead instructor for the youth transition and the transition team, teach pre-employment training. And Joanne Pearson, who's also our host today, helps me, and we collaborate, and she's going to be teaching certain skills, advocacy skills that she has. So, and then our executive director, Carolyn Rowley, if Joanne and I both get struck by lightning and we're out for several days, then she's going to take over and help out with that. But that is our transition team. Hopefully we will add to that team and find more people in the community that are willing to come in and be a part of our team and share their expertise and their knowledge, and can help more students. But we're excited about the youth transition program and the opportunities that we have, either through the grant from Escambia County or through vocational rehab, or just a simple, hey, I saw the sign, I'm not sure what this place does, but I heard you guys do youth transition. There's all kinds of different ways that people come to us, and it really doesn't matter how you come to us, as long as you get here, and then we can start the process. So next slide. We wanted to throw this one in there because this is more about the youth transition program and the grant that we have through Escambia County. Because what they're looking for in Escambia County is for people to go through this program and have the skills and are ready to go to work. So they want to do your hours, do your skill training. Now you have the skills to go right into employment. So if you have an interest in that, or if you know somebody that has an interest, you can complete the interest form. You send it to us through the info@cilnwf.org. We can compile that information, and then once we get the students that we need, we can start that group setting, ages 14 to 26. The only downside is for somebody that doesn't live in Escambia County, this particular grant is only for Escambia County residents. But hopefully, if this is successful, maybe some other counties, other surrounding counties that we also serve can obtain grants as well. But like I said, even if you are in Santa Rosa or Okaloosa or Walton County, we can help you obtain skills that you need for employment. So next slide. And for those of you who don't know us and are not familiar with our contact information, and some of you may not know that we recently changed our name. We had been the CIL Disability Resource Center, and we recently changed our name last year to CIL of Northwest Florida. And we're still at 3600 North Pace Boulevard. The phone number is still the same. So if you contact us, you'll probably hear from Savara, and she will put you with the person that you need to talk to. So she can do a small intake and then put you with the person that you need to talk to. But there's a way for you to email us, to look at our website, to get all kinds of information. Or if you see this and you're like, oh, I don't have any questions right now, but then tonight at 9:30, you might be sitting home watching TV and like, I should have asked that question, or I'm thinking about this. You can give us a call and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. If there's anything that you need from us, we can certainly help you. And if we, like I said, if we don't have what you need, we can match you up with somebody in the community or an agency in the community to help you get what you want and get what you need to become the most independent and whatever it is that you desire. So I think that is all of our material except for questions. I hope that you have questions.
Yes, we do have some questions that were typed into the Q&A box. So if anyone else still has questions, go ahead and type those in. We have one that says, has CIL reached out to private schools and students with disabilities that are homeschooled to participate in this program, or students that are in a GED program?
We have reached out to several of the school resources. We talked to OJT coordinators. We talked to people. We're actually very present at a lot of the OJT coordinator meetings, so they're very well aware of who we are. And we attend meetings with vocational rehab counselors and OJT coordinators. And so we have gotten our material out to the school district. We've talked with the superintendent of schools. We have not, and I think this is largely because of COVID and the way things have been, we have not been able to yet get into the schools and speak directly to students from the schools. But we hopefully in the near future that will change. And then we can go directly to the source and we can talk to the parents. CIL a few months ago did an open house where we talked about this very thing. We talked about the youth transition services and the services that we're trying to, especially with the grant for Escambia County, so that we can talk directly to parents, we can talk directly to students, And I believe those presentations have been archived on our website. So if you want to go back and visit those, you can certainly do that. But we are planning to do more outreach. As the community starts to reopen, we will be out in the community as well, talking about those programs, hopefully meeting the people that need those services. So if anybody has any wonderful ideas or great ideas of people that might benefit from services or could help get the word out, feel free to share that as well. We, like I said, we have talked to agencies, we've talked to organizations, school districts, but if there's something that we're missing, and we could benefit from your knowledge, that would be awesome too.
Okay, we do have one more question. This is, are there any incentives being offered to participate in CIL's youth transition program? And we were actually talking about this the other day.
Yeah, we have met about this a few times and talked about different incentives. We've looked around and seen what other CILs are providing. Some CILs are providing gift cards, or some of them may even provide a laptop or something like that when they finish the program. And all of those things are good, and those incentives are good. But what I would really want people to focus on is, what kind of skills do you have when you're finished with the program? What does that mean to you when you're finished? It's nice to get a certificate and say I'm finished, or nice to get something nice, but it's even nicer to have the skills that you came for and that are going to benefit you for your whole life. I hate to sound like my dad, but it's not about receiving a gift or something. And I know those are important, and we all like those things, but it's more important about the skills that you're going to learn, the connections that you're going to be able to make, and ultimately for you to be independent and to be earning money, or to be living independently, doing what you want, when you want, how you want to do it, because you have the knowledge and the support and the skills to be able to do that. So that's the most important thing to me. We can certainly talk about incentives and different things that we can provide people, but to me, that is the most important thing, to actually get what you came for, and then to be able to use it to obtain the job that you want. Now, there's no guarantees. We're not offering anybody a guarantee, but hopefully we're going to give you the tools that you need to do what you need to do for today, tomorrow, and the rest of your life. So that's the most important thing.
Well, that is all the questions that we have that were put into the Q&A box. I don't see anything in the chat currently, but I do want to mention to everyone that we do have a library of educational pieces on our website. We have, when you go to CILNWF.org, we do have a list of featured webinars that are coming up. And one in particular that I want to mention, since we are coming into hurricane season, is our emergency preparedness. We have some other things on there, and we do, like Danny mentioned, have the Youth Transition to Employment Open House presentation. If you'd like to know more about the Escambia County grant for Youth Transition to Employment Services, it discussed the grant and what services we are offering and how to sign up for that program. It is open to Escambia County residents only currently, and there's also other webinars out there about each of our staff and team that we have at CIL and what they do, and all of the other services that we offer here. So I really want to say thank you for joining us. And if there's any further questions on anything about CIL, what we do, what we're about, that we didn't mention, Please feel free to email us at info@cilnwf.org. Have a great afternoon, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.